Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yolanda Melody. Today is going to be a total freestyle and I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to find your tribe. Everything that's going on in the world right now has caused a lot of conflict. Different people have dealt with this situation in totally different ways. For some people, they've become very consumed by fear, and for others, it's caused a lot of personal growth. And what happens when you go through growth and the people around you aren't growing, you're left with two choices. Either you stunt your growth or you find other people who are on that level. You find your tribe. Now, the reason why I feel like I have some form of authority to talk about this is because I have gone through so many periods of growth in my life. I almost feel like I've lived many different lives in this life. I've literally transformed as a person over and over and over again, and I'm so familiar with this process that I feel like I can tell you exactly what to do, exactly how to deal with the hermit phase. If you find that you're going through a period of growth and the people around you are not, it might feel uncomfortable right now, but you are on the right path. So, as usual, I'm going to give you a few real life examples, and then by the end of the video, it'll all become very clear, and I'll give you some practical solutions on how to navigate this situation. So, one of the first times that I found myself outgrowing people was in high school. I'd managed to get myself into the popular group. I was blonde, I was into like Paris Hilton and pink and fluffy things, mainstream music. You get the gist. One day, something just clicked in my head and I decided that I hated all of those things and I wanted to be a goth. At my school, there weren't many people who were goths. I spoke to my popular friends about it and they were instantly like, ew. Why do you want to be a goth for? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, wear one of those spiky collars? The peer pressure was real, but with me, once I start getting into an aesthetic, I become very, very obsessed with it, and the way that I was feeling at the time, this was what I wanted to do. Very quickly, as I started to migrate into my goth kind of vibe, my popular friends completely disowned me, and for a period of time, I was completely on my own. This was the first experience that I'd had of what I like to call the hermit phase. Because in order to open new doors, you have to close the old ones. You have to close the doors that are stopping you from making that progression. Now, when you decide that you want to be a certain aesthetic, it's a lot easier to attract your tribe because you are visually showing people, this is who I am, or this is how I define myself. Fast forward a few months and I was invited to a few events where I knew there was going to be a lot of people that shared the same ideology, the same music taste, and because I was very, very vocal and very visual about it, I started to attract my tribe at that time. So a lot of you guys have already heard that story, but for anyone who hasn't, that was my first taste of cutting a load of people off and becoming part of such a big community. And if you've heard the story before, sorry. But after a few years of being in that goth group, I suddenly decided to change again, and so went into the hermit phase once again. Now, another example, which I don't think I've spoke about on my channel before, is when I was in a very, very toxic relationship. In this relationship, I had become very, very, very isolated. I was almost in a place where I felt like there was no way out whatsoever. It was a worse feeling than when I was migrating into my goth era, and what happens is as we get older we get tested, and each time there is a new lesson to learn and the difficulty is gonna kind of up itself a bit. So I was in a very, very controlling relationship. I really, really wanted to be a music artist. That was my dream, but the boyfriend that I had at the time wouldn't even allow me to go to photo shoots, so I wasn't even able to do modelling, let alone network with people in the music industry. And one day I was scrolling on Facebook, as you do, and I saw a local music artist asking for video models. And I can remember back in that moment, I was thinking to myself, I really, really, really want to go for this opportunity. It would open so many doors for me. But I knew that my boyfriend at the time would no way support me going to a place where there's going to be rappers. I knew that it would have caused so many arguments. So what I did was I broke up with him. And looking back, that was the best thing that I ever chose to do. Seriously, that was actually one of the best choices I ever made, and it was a hard one. I sacrificed a relationship that wasn't doing me any good to go to a music video shoot with complete strangers. I didn't know how this music video shoot would go. I didn't know what these people were going to be like, but I had a good feeling about it, and my gut and my intuition was drawing me to this experience. And what it did was it led me to one of the best periods of my life. I met so many music artists, I met producers, videographers, creative people who I knew were on the same page as me. They were incredible people, and I was so happy that I took that risk, because if it wasn't for those people, I would probably have never made any music whatsoever, because they showed me the way. They showed me that you didn't need a record label in order to become a music artist. The energy that these people were giving off was amazing, and I have a lot to thank them for. I really, really do. And what I'm trying to tell with this story is that in order to find your tribe, sometimes you have to make some big decisions. Sometimes the people that you have lingering on in your life become very toxic. Sometimes they can stop you from growing because they're not ready to make that growth, or maybe it's just not their vibe. And sometimes the best thing that you can do in that situation is to just accept that you're on a different path. And then let's get on to the most recent change that I've been through, and it's been very public. You guys have literally seen this in the flesh. The transition that I made from doing beauty videos and hauls to videos about self-development, empowerment and spirituality. So anybody that looks on my channel can clearly see that there's been a swift change in my content, and I haven't actually spoken about it much. It just kind of happened. I must admit, when you do YouTube and things are going well, sometimes you really just don't want to rock the boat. Sometimes you can get stuck and get yourself into a loop where you keep making content that you think people want, and it can be very, very scary to just change it completely. But what I found was when I was doing the hauls and the beauty videos, as fun as it was, I started to get to a stage where it just felt so wrong. I was so scared that if I started speaking about my beliefs or doing like serious videos, some people wouldn't get it. Maybe my channel just wouldn't grow. I had all of these fears just going round in my head, but my soul was just like, this is right. This is what I need to be doing. And the day today, hold on, I'm speaking from the past now. Today is Friday the 30th of July. I have not even started releasing my new content yet. Okay, so I've lost the audio for the latter end of this video, so we're going to be doing a voiceover. Yay! At the time that I had started recording this video, I hadn't even released any spiritual content on my channel, but what I did start doing was posting little hints on my Instagram. And what I found was that I was attracting so many people that got my way of thinking. I'd already put the feelers out, and already people were DMing me and they were like, I am so for this change, I'm so excited for this, like, yes. And because this change is coming from the heart, and because I feel so authentic in what I'm doing now, I don't even care if there's people that don't like it. I really, really don't. It doesn't matter anymore, because I'm forming so many close relationships with people that are on the same vibe as me. The best advice that I could give someone who is looking to find their tribe is to start being more vocal about what you stand for. I am all too familiar with the feeling of being the black sheep. And what often happens is you can fall into an illusion where you feel as if nobody understands you. And if you let that fester long enough, you can actually become so closed off from meeting new people and just assume that everyone is going to think that you're crazy or you're too different. This is essentially what I was doing with my channel. I was posting hauls and beauty videos because I thought if I spoke too deeply about something or shared my spiritual beliefs, I was under an illusion that nobody would like what I had to say and that everyone would just click off. But like I say, this is an illusion. It's a test, and the more authentic that you can be, the more that your life is going to fall into place. Your tribe cannot find you unless you are visible. Say for example, you've suddenly decided that you want to start going to the gym and you want to get your body in shape, you want to be healthier, but the people that you're friends with at the moment all just want to eat pizza, watch Netflix, drink alcohol on the weekends, and when they hear about your goals, they just take the mick out of you and say that you're a health freak and you need to calm down. Now what's happening is you're being faced with two options. The first option is to shut down this desire that you have to become healthier and stay with your current group. The alternative is that you go to the gym anyway because that's what you want to do, and it might take a few weeks, it may take a few months, but eventually you'll start to meet like-minded people. And what those like-minded people are going to do is they're not only going to encourage you to keep on track, but they're going to encourage you to grow even more. And because they're of the same mindset and they are of the same vibe as you, your life will flow with ease. I've been stuck in situations before where the second that I talk about spirituality, people give me this eye as if to be like, oh, here she goes again, crazy person. Having to be around those type of people all the time had such a knock on my self-esteem, and now I feel great because now I have loads of people that I know that totally understand me. And the great thing is as well is that we're in the age of the internet. The small town people that you come across in your day-to-day life might find that your beliefs are absolutely crazy, but the second that you go on the internet, it's a whole different story. One of my goals for this channel is for people to be able to meet other like-minded people in the comments section. If you have a YouTuber that you love and you totally vibe with everything that they say, drop a comment. Connect with people. You'll be surprised as well that not only will you potentially meet online friends, but you may even come across people that are in your area that speak your language, but maybe you just went different paths. Maybe you weren't supposed to meet until now. You might also find that people who are local to you that you may not have spoken to for a few years, suddenly you're on the same vibe. This has actually happened to me a lot lately. I think it has a lot to do with all of the events that have been happening since 2020, but just to let you know, this is a very high possibility now. So anyway, that was my freestyle. I didn't have any notes or anything to go by, so it was from the heart. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed all of the visuals at the end. Please, please, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Love you, bye!